This is Tony Hendrick with Painting Spirit. Today's subject is the sensual. And I'm going to first share how I came about the subject today. And that was actually on Saturday. So I've gotten kind of into a rhythm with these painting spirit sessions where I get up and have a little bit of a routine where I practice my Tai Chi, and as I'm practicing my Tai Chi, I'm kind of just in a nice space, a nice zone, and I am now in the habit of thinking about what I might talk about while I'm practicing my Tai Chi. So Saturday morning, even though I wasn't going to be doing these sessions, I found myself still in that habit, that flow, and I was noticing that that my experience of practicing Tai Chi is much different than when I first started. Before I get going on this story, I'm going to jump right into this picture because it's going to probably end up changing on me. So this picture is a drawing of a daughter of a friend on Facebook, and she shared this post of her daughter solving a math problem that she was given. And so the question for the math problem was, or not the question, but what she was being asked to do is draw a right to explain how she solved the math problem. And so this was what she drew, and the mother was like, "I'm confused. What is this?" "Well, Mom, that's me. I'm solving the math problem at the dining room table. The tools I used were paper and pencil." And it's such a brilliant image. I just loved it. And the reason I was talking about me thinking about this subject while doing Tai Chi, the subject of the sensual, is I was realizing while I was practicing my Tai Chi, how much I was into just the physicality of it, the sensations of it. And that wasn't always the case, especially when I first started out. It was very much in my mind and trying to figure it out and understand what it was that I was doing and learning the form and a lot of concepts about it, thinking about it. And now those concepts just have very little meaning for me with learning Tai Chi now. It's more of a sensual experience that I'm having, and so I wanted to talk about that with art. And what the funny thing about this was, so I was doing this in the mornings. I do tend to have a routine where I practice my Tai Chi and I meditate and kind of just get myself into the day that way. And this particular morning, for some reason, I just picked up, without even thinking, I just picked up my phone. Sometimes I listen to a guided meditation, so maybe that was what I was doing, and I just, not thinking, clicked on Facebook, and this was the post that came up. I was like, oh, That's it. That's the perfect explanation of what it is I was thinking of. You know, children are experiencing the world through that sensual experience, that the experience of the body, of the physical. And so it makes complete sense that she would be speaking about the physical experience. How did I solve this problem? I was sitting at a table, and for us as adults, it seems so, oh my gosh, it seems funny because we're so caught up in the conceptual in life, and we lose sight of the obvious, that we're physical beings experiencing life through our senses. And it's so, I think, important when creating art. It's one of the fun things about creating art is it brings us back into the sensual, so it kind of gives us some balance in our life, especially if we're so into our mind during the day. It can be tiring. It can be all kinds of things happen when we forget about that other aspect of experiencing life. It's probably one of the reasons that, you know, I keep talking about this sort of thing with these painting spirit demonstrations. I'm not sure where I'm going with this painting. I'm just kind of enjoying this gentle layering of the colors, seeing where they're going. Sometimes I get lost in, my mind while speaking. I have to bring myself back into the sensual aspects of what I'm doing with my painting. And it is a back and forth kind of a thing. Really, it's funny, with these painting demonstrations that I give, I'm noticing I'm really having a conversation with myself. I mean, that's obvious. It's, I'm giving these, sharing these, and that's one of the things that, one of the powers of the conceptual is it gives us an ability to share what's going on inside of us with others. But really what I'm finding is that I'm kind of bringing my own thoughts out into the open, where the only way that I can, if I have a subject like this, the only way that I can really share it is if I bring it into my own personal experience. So this morning even though I have these routines, I notice because I'm doing these at 7 o'clock, I want to go from one thing to the next so that I'm sure that I get to the camera by 7 a.m. And so I notice my mind kind of is caught up into where I'm headed instead of what I'm doing and how I'm that sensual experience. And this morning was very enjoyable because I found myself, I think because I was focused on what I was going to talk about, I automatically went into a place where I started to experience it. So this morning, all the routines that I do, from feeding our pets to getting a fire going in the stove, we've got a wood burning stove and all the routines. I just found myself enjoying the sensual aspect of it. And I think I'm going to do that now for the rest of this painting. Maybe just get into what I'm doing with the painting. So I want to kind of, I got all these reds and orange going on. I want to kind of play with different qualities of that. So handling it a little differently from that red to this red maybe is going to give me a different quality there. Kind of opens up the space a little. Maybe bring something out from underneath. Some of the underpainting that I did last night. You know, my rendering of her drawing wasn't nowhere near as good as hers. That underneath, it's kind of, you know, actually because I did that last night, did her drawing last night, it's dry, so I can scrape and bring it out from underneath. Wasn't really planning that, but it's kind of neat to show you what can happen with the layering like that. Going over with glazes, and let me get some of that thick glaze. Now, this medium that I'm putting on there has kind of a white tone to it, you see that, but it dries clear. And these golden open mediums are a little bit different than some of your other acrylic mediums. Now I'm putting white over it, so it'll kind of cover it up, but maybe there will be a little bit of a ghost thing going on with that stuff underneath when this dries. But regular acrylic mediums tend to even have more of that whitish tone to them. But it seems like these golden open acrylic mediums tend to be a little more translucent, so I like that. I like, it's a little bit of a mystery when using mediums what it's going to end up looking like, because it does have that whitish quality to it. And that goes away when it dries, so. Oh, looks like I'm bringing some greens in now. That pure green kind of has a blue, because everything is red and yellow now. It kind of feels there's a blue sensation to it, even though it's just pure phthalo green. Well, there's my bell. See what I can do in the last minute. Actually set my bell for 14 minutes, so it gives me a little bit of time to finish things out. Anyways, that was my conversation about the sensual. It's really wonderful thing to focus on. So see what you can find. What it is that you enjoy, the essential aspects of your art. And get out your brushes, play around. We'll see you tomorrow.